Well, I'm in a crossroads of life, a transitional period in my life. But at the same time, I am celebrating. Tonight, I am celebrating 20,000 YouTube subscribers. A big milestone. 4 years ago, in July of 2017, I started my YouTube channel with no monetization, working basically as a free intern, with bad videos, but with a work ethic, with the grace of God, and with variety and consistency along the way, and and honesty, sharing the ups and the downs. And over time, using my gift, because I do have the gift to communicate, I always have, I always wanted to use it. One of the greatest blessings in life is to be able to use your gift and earn some money while using it. Great to see you, Andre. Great to see you, Twister. Thank you both. I appreciate you. Always be grateful. I was grateful when I first started my channel with no subs, no monetization, and I'm still grateful. What I can tell you is, you always want to use your gift and you always want to earn money while using it because it makes life more enjoyable, even though you can never get past working, being consistent, showing up when you don't want to show up. There's been plenty of videos that I've done, whether regular videos or live feeds, that I really was not in the mood, but I persevered, and I, again, showed up, stayed consistent. And so, the journey evolved. I remember, early in my life, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I had a gift to communicate. I remember playing basketball one time in the playground, and I was able to get like certain players to play that didn't want to play. And my man had asked like these other kids, like, you want to play basketball? And they were like, nah, we don't want to play. We're just here practicing. And then I approached them, but I approached them a little bit different, like, a little bit political, but like, where I connected with them, and I got them to join the game. And then my man was laughing at me. He goes, Sam, man, you're a mayor, man. You're a politician. You're a mayor. And then, as I got older and I refined the gift, I thought I was going to be maybe a pastor. And I joined a church for 10 years. I refined the gift some more. I was a youth leader. And then I got a little bit disillusioned with organized religion, even though I learned a lot from it and it was a blessing. And then I started my own nonprofit, and I had a radio show on a small local AM radio in Plainfield, New Jersey. And it was also on the internet, but no one really watched, and I paid to broadcast it. It was really small. But again, I used my gift, I refined it, kept working on it. And then there was a thing on the internet called Ustream. I don't know if it's still out there. And you didn't get any money to do it, but you could blog, you could video blog like I'm doing now, and just to connect with people and just to like kind of use your gift. And I did it. But I kind of sucked, and I was still a little bit in the algorithm of, still a little bit in a rhythm of using religion as the driving force behind me sharing. And why I had to kind of break away from that was because I didn't want every time I share for it to have to tie back to converting people or getting people to agree with a certain philosophy. Even though a certain philosophy may have helped me, over time I learned there's a lot of dogma in religion, and there's other ways to do things based on other people's perspective. And, like even Jesus, if you dissect his life, he wasn't trying to start a new religion. He was Jewish. Most of his followers were Jewish. But Jewish people crucified him. And some Jewish people still don't like him, and some Jewish people do. He was Jewish. And then, again, I grew up amongst Muslims, Buddhists, atheists. I grew up in New Jersey, so it's a very diverse area. And then I tried to analyze myself, and I said, Sam, you grew up with a bunch of different people, all walks of life, all religion. And when you were young, you never really kind of got into debating religion. And so it was time to evolve again past religion. A lot of people can't get past that because religion saves them from drugs or being destitute, and faith is great. I believe in it. It helped me, got me out of the strip club and got me into an adulthood, mature life. But I had to leave it, evolve past it, because it also got me caught in just winning souls life, like just trying to like convert people, just trying to get monetization, basically, just trying to get 10% for the pastor and let their subscribers grow the church. Whether you're a Jehovah Witness or whatever, it's all about growing the church. And for if you're a YouTuber, it's all about growing the channel. However, I believe why I'm very grateful is I've been myself at the expense of losing viewers, and I've been surprised I've even made it this far. Um, so, and I'm able to do that again because I have a couple different hustles. I have a main hustle, IT job. I have a skill set of master electrician, contractor's license. I'm willing to do anything. I'm willing to DoorDash. I'm not scared of work. Obviously, as I get older, I want to work less, do more things I love, and control more of my shots. And that was kind of why I started the YouTube thing again too, is because, hey, I can maybe make side money on it, and I can use my gift, and I do it when I can. It's not like a major pressure point. Now, obviously, it's still work and it's still sharing your life in public, and that's a pressure point, and you don't realize it until you have your own YouTube channel. Just like you don't empathize with your employer until you have been an employer. If you've only been an employee, you think corporations are evil, you think business owners are evil. And then if you owned a business, or if you worked for a mom and pop, you realize that it's better to work for Home Depot than a Harry's Hardware. So, what I want to tell you is thank you for everyone, past, present, and future, that has been a supporter. There's been some trolls, there'll be some trolls, but at the same time, they can't stop a steamboat. They can't stop God's blessings. At the same time, I'm not entitled to anything. It could all stop tomorrow. So I'm not disillusioned that, just like Jesus said, God, why'd you forsake me? I'm not above thinking that things can't go sour tomorrow. What I try to do is make the most of each day, do what I can with what I have, and share with you out of my overflow. Because if I don't take care of myself, you're not going to see videos. And what I've learned is people who stop uploading videos, they're not taking care of themselves. And they get caught in this bad cycle of life. And they just wait until things are better until they make another video. And I'm telling you right now, you don't get shit done like that. However, self-care is number one. So if you're in a bad place and you can't share, I understand. And so again, I have no kids. I waited till I sold my house. I waited till I lived in my car for 6 months until I wanted to share, because living in my car was a big part of me sharing a YouTube channel. However, I'm not scared to evolve past it, just like I haven't been scared to evolve past the things I've mentioned earlier in this live feed. So, now I sit here at an extended stay hotel. I'll be here for about 30 more nights. And I'm still officially a nomad. An official nomad is pretty much someone who has no permanent abode, no permanent house. And I don't. Basically, you can be a nomad and stay at hotels. You can stay in RVs. You can stay in cars or vans. You can travel out of a backpack, or you can travel out of a fifth wheel. So staying in a hotel, I debated even staying for this extra 30 nights. I was going to go back in a car stay maybe. But I thought about it, and I said, Sam, you need this time to reflect. You need to see if sitting in one area for at least a month is something that is either going to work for you on a permanent basis, or if you're going to do maybe rent in the summer, travel seasonal when I travel up north in the fall, and then, go from there. I like the flexibility I still have. If I want to leave this hotel right now, I can. I don't have maintenance. I don't have liability. Now, I am paying more than you would pay in rent. If you stay 30 nights, depending on the hotel, you'll get a discounted rate. Like this is $99 a night. The average rate's about $170 a night. Now, this is a nicer hotel. There's some that you probably do less than that. But for 4 years, I pretty much haven't spent any money other than Starbucks. And part of living in my car was to cut my bills in half, pay off my debt, build up a good savings account, and try some creative things, and also see what I wanted to do in Florida. So I got in this saving mode. I paid off all my debt last year. I've built up a healthy emergency fund. So I've done all things in order. And getting me to spend money is part of my next evolution. Because once you get in this, it's a great mode to be in saving mode, but it's also like an obsession. Just like I told you, I've been obese and I've been basically anorexic. And it's a mental thing where you can't allow yourself to either eat food, or you can't stop eating until you're stuffed to the gills. This is out of balance mental part of life that manifests physically. And this same obsession happens when you are in this very much a saving mood where you're scared to spend any money. You have plenty of money, you've done everything right, you've paid off your debt, you've saved, you worked. And but also it's like you're living like a broke person because you don't want to see your bank account go down, or you say, well, if I spend $2,000, $3,000 on rent or a hotel, I can just put that in a savings. But after a certain point, again, after you've paid off your debt and after you have a healthy emergency fund, you have to balance your life, and that's very hard, especially when you've been extreme. And so, look, I haven't made a permanent decision. 30 nights is still temporary, but just spending money is a big decision. Even like today, I was sitting in the car and I said, Sam, just that's it. You did 6 nights in a hotel, go back to the car. And I could have, and I was thinking about it, really thought about it, but I want to do another 30 nights because I want to develop myself. I want to grow myself, and I want to see, is home ownership in my future again? Can I see myself still living a good life that I want, which is mainly outdoors, using a home base for shelter at night, which I do love. It's a benefit. It's quality of life to come back, to seal me off from society, to have temperature control. And it's not perfect. Look, it's like a condo. There's neighbors, there's things, but I can feel a better quality of life, not always dealing with traffic, not always dealing with the public. And so I know I want to add some of this. What does that evolve to? Whether it's a home ownership, I don't know about an RV. I'm struggling with that a little bit. I'm not saying that's off the table, but this is a step. This is a step forward, even though financially it can be considered a not, because I could rent cheaper or I could buy something immediately, but I'm not there yet. And for me, I'd rather pay a little bit more right now to be in a hotel where I can leave anytime. I'm not dealing with a landlord. There's still rules, of course, here, but I have a lot more freedom than I would if I feel as if I was in someone else's house, even with Airbnb. So I want to get through these 30 nights. I want to get into June. And my opening statement is a two-part statement. And then we're going to go to all live comments. Thank you to my members for being patient. One is a milestone. It'll be 5 years this July. In about 2 months, I've had a YouTube channel, and I'm now at 20,000 subscribers, about 5.5 million views. This is the biggest year I've had with earning revenue. Like I say, I started with nothing. 2 years I made about nothing. Then the next 2 years, a few $100s a month. This year I broke $1,000 a month. And I've had a couple big months even above that, this year. So I don't know like where it's going to baseline out, but I'm not going to run my life based on my channel. My channel is going to be a reflection of my life, and it's going to be a side hustle so that I can be myself without being controlled by the audience or the dollar. And that's the way it's got to be, in my opinion, when you do a creative venture. And so you're also seeing the other part of the statement, or the other part of this live feed topic, which is a person evolving, showing you the journey of living as a nomad, which I still am, but with a purpose, okay? And there is no end game. I mean, but the structure was use the nomadic life to reposition mainly in Florida, cut your bills in half, pay off your debt, save, and then see what you want to do next. And that's where I'm at. And so I have been wishy-washy these past few months, but it's because I don't know if I want to make a permanent home base or if I want to make it temporary or how I want to do it. So this is a step. This is a step of if this was a condo and this was mine and I came back to it every night for a month, it's the same thing as renting, just at a little higher premium for higher flexibility. And then, maybe I do this through the summer, maybe I travel in the fall, and then maybe something comes on the market by then. Do I regret the home base I passed up? A little bit, yes, but I wasn't there. So I have to be there, and I have to go through these steps. And that's what I'm sharing with you, evolution, whether it's going from playing basketball, politicking with people, whether it's going through from the strip club to the church, leaving the church, whether it's going from religion to philosophy to humanity, whether it's going from YouTube car dwelling to hotel to buying to RVing. We don't know. So, the evolution never stops no matter what you do, but you have to keep growing, you have to keep going. And when you don't know what to do, which I haven't known what to do exactly these past few days, you keep doing self-care. You wake up early, you go to your main job, you eat at normal time intervals. And even me being in this hotel for a few nights, I had to readjust my eating schedule. And I have to be very diligent, that I don't intake too many calories past what I normally do when I'm always on the go on the road. And so I've been able to kind of moderate that now in day 7 here. And now I feel more comfortable with 30 nights that I'll have a flow and I'll get a routine as if, again, this is like a practice run. So, while I am struggling with some decisions, I am encouraged tonight with other decisions that I have made. They have been fruitful. The track record shows it, the data shows it, and obviously other people have other opinions, right? Again, when I started living in my car, my father, other people told me it was a step backwards. For me, it was a step forwards. Um, when I got out of, or when I'm getting out of it now, some people say don't stop doing it, right? And I say, look, I'm going to go forward. Maybe I don't know what the future is going to be, but I'm not going to be who other people want me to be. I'm going to do what I need to do. And obviously, look, we do need the grace of God. We do need some luck. But I do feel me at least cursing God less by having this shelter at the end of the night and being shielded from the public. Because I found myself getting into a bad mental place this year mainly, but it's still going to be always going to be there with me. But always dealing with traffic, always on the road, always in the public, taking showers at the gym, coffee shop, etc. It's very exciting, it's very good, but it also, over time, you don't have time to shut down. And these past several nights, I've been able to shut down. Even though I sleep great in the car, I'm not 100% shut down because I have to be conscious of I'm in the, survival mode. So this is building mode, okay? I may not be building a house per se, but I am building stability in my life, even if it's on a temporary basis. It takes me out of survival and exploration mode. There's 3 parts of life: survival, exploration, and building. Now, for some people, many people who've been cooped up in their house, especially with the coronavirus, they're itching, they're dying to explore because they've just been surviving the past year. And that's the pent up demand that you're going to see a lot of travel. And I understand that. I mean, even me, the first couple nights in here, I was like, I can't stay in this hotel because I have to be out, I have to get fresh air. But I've learned I'm right by the beach. I'm right by where I'd want to be, and I'm driving less. So I have the time to be outside just as much, if not more. But I had to reshuffle my cards and restructure my day based on stability, not travel. And so I've been able to do that. And then I've been able to turn this switch, especially now that I'm committed to 30 nights, even though I can change at any time, is I'm in building mode. I'm at least on a temporary basis. And I need to get out of survival and exploration mode because you have to evolve. You have to get out of the street. You have to get out of the church. You have to get out of whatever you have to get out of, and you have to go to the next thing. And you have to progressively, look, there is no end game. One thing that upsets me is sometimes I lose, sometimes I make a lot of progress, and then I go backwards. But I persevere. I show up, and over time, I do believe that you'll keep making progress in some manner. Even if sometimes things look like they're going down. So just keep going. But it's a little bit of a long opening statement, but that's what I wanted to get out tonight. We're going to go all live comments. Thank you, everyone, all the members, everyone watching. Thank you. I'm going to read the all live comments now, take a hydration break. Click the thumbs up if you haven't. Thank you again, everyone. 66 people watching, 31 thumbs up. Love to you. Hydration break at the ice machine. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. I know you guys too. You've been dealing with these different live feed times. I'm also getting a feel for that. Like, if I had this home base, how would my live feeds change? They would probably be a little bit later because I'd want to be out more, walking at night. That's what I did. I walked tonight after I eat dinner. I like to go for a walk every time I eat. so that my digestive system can flush and my body is active. You should get in a habit of going for a 15-minute walk after you eat your dinner or eat your lunch. All right, top of love comments. Andre, man, thank you for always being first. Thank you for being a very positive person. I appreciate you. Twister, same to you, brother. You've been awesome to me, man. What's up, Sam? Congrats on 20K. It's amazing, man. You have to push past the few negatively ill people that just want to hurt you because there's something either wrong with them or there's a lot of spite in their heart. There's a lot of good people, but what I've learned in life, until you speak up, the good people are or silent or scared to speak up. And even when you speak up, sometimes people are a little bit too timid to do what you do. So you speak for the silent. You're strong for the weak. And I've been very honest, very direct. I've been imperfect on here. I've made mistakes, which I've shared. I've tried to correct. But you're always going to make mistakes. I'm not going to be perfect. No one's perfect. But I try to be overall very direct, and I'm trying to balance with empathy too, because you got to have that too. Andre, crypto is crazy today. Wow, I'm making a ton of money. Well, that's awesome. Like I said, I wish I can say I've made more money in investments than I've lost, but I personally have lost more money in investments than I made. The only real way that I've gotten ahead is working, saving, and paying off debt. And sometimes that's what bothers me. I've really mitigated my risk pool to a very small percentage of my net assets because I thought I had it figured out, and I'd be doing great for about 6 months, and then all of a sudden, uh, my risky investments just didn't pan out. So I still have a little bit to play with, but I keep it at a very small scale. That way, if it does not work, it doesn't bother me. It's not a big percentage. The best thing that I've seen that does work, even though it's conventional wisdom, is if you're going to go into stocks, you do the index fund after you have your savings account, after you pay off debt, and live below your means. But with any investment, you just have to remember that it needs to be a smaller percentage of your net worth. As an example, if you had 10,000 in a savings account, you shouldn't have more than 3,000 in investments. Uh, if they go up, that's great. I know the philosophy is, well, if they go up, if I had all 10,000 or 9,000 in it, I'd make even more. Yeah, but if they go down, same thing, you'd lose even more, and you'd feel really bad. If you had 10 grand and you put 8 grand in it, and then you're only left with two. But if you put 3 grand in it and it totally wipes out, you still have seven. So you still want a higher percentage of your net worth in a level of stability where it just gives you peace of mind, because it destroys your peace of mind when you lose money. And gambling, investments, risky ventures, most of them do not pan out. Most businesses fail. That's statistics. So while I know that times are inflated and most things are going up, that's great. But I've lived through enough life where it doesn't always stay like that. I know we're in a new dimension, and I don't wish on the downfall of society like some people do. Obviously you want a level of balance, but all I can tell you is congratulations to those who are making money. And for those who aren't, don't feel bad. Just work on the basics, which is secure an income, secure a savings account, pay off your debt. And then even if all your investments never work out, you have an income, you have no debt, and you have a savings account. That is the foundation of a healthy, independent financial life. And so, even though it certainly we all want to be millionaires, we all don't want to have to ever worry about money. If you can say that you've done the basics, then at least that's better quality of life, better independence. Adam, I appreciate you, Adam. You've been another very positive person from Michigan. Good evening, Sam. 20,000 subs. That's awesome. It's amazing. It is hard work, but it is the grace of God. It is some unique people that, like yourself and others, that supported me that didn't have to. So it's a combination of things. Like I said, I can't take full credit. Obviously, the biggest thing that I can show is that I show up. And I've always been like that ever since I was young. Whatever job, whether working retail, construction, corporate. Certainly there's been certain time periods in my youth where I didn't show up here or there. But I definitely overall I've been working since I was what, 17 or whatever. So I'll be 41 soon. So that's what is it, 24 years. Over the course of my 24 years of work history, overall, I've showed up consistently. Overall, I've got great reviews from everyone I've worked with. Certainly, I have failures. Certainly, I had learning curves. Certainly, I had help. Certainly, people gave me opportunity, and certainly, I've tried to pass that forward, whether it's hiring people or helping people get hired or whatever, or just being a good coworker. So it, all I can tell you is that show up is one of the cornerstones of my channel. My channel, every channel has its own unique thing. Some people focus on editing, some people focus on exploring, some people focus on politics, some people focus on simple living. For me, it's kind of very diverse, but the core of my channel is self-care, show up, minimalism, um, and not any one necessary religion, but faith, but also understand that you're going to curse, God at times. You're going to lose your faith, perseverance, any evolution. You know, even now, guys, these past few nights, this is the first time in 4 years I've been indoors like this, and some of it I like, some of it I don't. But again, I haven't made a permanent decision, but I've made a decision to at least try to evolve. Super chat, my man Hal, my man Sam. Hal, I was thinking about you today, as I've been dealing with the hotel staff, the clerks, the maids, and I've been thinking about you and all that you've done with your career. He worked mainly in the hotel industry, and there's definitely an art, a science to working in this industry. And what I can tell you, brother, is I could tell you would thrive in this industry because you've been very positive even when you didn't have to be. And so I think about your customer service level that you provide. I also think about you smashing those maids. Be careful. And but all I can tell you, Hal, is you're a gem, man. That's how I look at you, man. A straight gem. And I hope that this year brings you restoration. I'm very proud of you for getting your own apartment. I know that's not easy. Um, and I'm just very thankful that for however long, we'll be together. Because I know, like, we all evolve. Just like friends you grow up with, everyone goes on their own journey. Uh, and I don't hold anyone. I don't hold anyone. I don't manipulate. I said, guys, look, if you don't like me anymore, or if things are just different in your life, I understand people have to move on. I don't want to control anyone. That's part of me selling my house and being by myself. I was talking to a friend today. He was asking me like where I was at. I said, look, I'm still in a little bit negative place. I haven't decided. I said, but at least I committed to a hotel for several nights. This is like a first step. And he was like, you just have to be careful, that you're not looking for perfection. He goes, maybe like, like you felt like your father was controlling. Maybe you're trying to control the situation. I said, wow. I said, no. I said, part of home ownership, though, was, again, I borrowed money from my parents. And I didn't like when I got in a bad position financially that I didn't like owing people. And so a little bit of my memories are tied to home ownership is once you get it, you always owe. And, obviously I'm in a different place now as a middle-aged man, and I paid off my debt. And, but I'm very conscious of owing people. I think as you get older, you are. I've dated a lot of MILFs, and a lot of the MILFs, like I was dating this one Asian MILF I always tell you about, but she came to America, right? And I don't know if she married another Asian guy or if she married an American guy. I'm not sure. I think an Asian guy, but I know like he used the money and the leverage of bringing her to America as like she owed him, right? And I remember when I first started dating her, she was very, very firm on her paying like for half. Some girls are like half of the food and everything like that. And I didn't fight her because me. I said, all right, yeah, you want to pay? That's fine with me. So I'm not insecure. I said, yeah, go ahead, pay. But after I come to learn her, a lot of it was that she didn't want to owe anyone anything. And even watching like Lifetime movies with my mom, if you ever watch a Lifetime movie, which mainly about middle-aged women or older women after a divorce or a nasty relationship, they find love again in an unexpected place, and they open up a bakery selling cupcakes, and it's a fucking. But I understand. But I remember watching this one movie. It's like every other movie on Lifetime. This one lady left like an abusive husband in New York or Boston, and then she came to South Carolina, and she moved in the middle of the woods, and she met like this one guy at like this little store that he would run with his daughter, and his wife died, of course, so he was like the grieving husband, and he like wanted to give her this bike, just like a regular bike, it was $100, and she didn't want to accept the gift because she said, like her philosophy was, once you accept this gift, I owe you, and she didn't want to go back to that, because she had just got out of like a controlling relationship. An abusive relationship is not just physical. We've learned that now. It could be verbal, emotional, manipulative, guilt trips. So, like I say, a lot of trolls, what I've seen is all they're repeating is their parents' abuse. They think by like writing certain comments or by lashing out on YouTube, like it's not abuse, it's abuse. And all they're doing is regurgitating what they experienced in their youth, but they're not taking accountability that they're the abuser now. And so I'm not falling for that. I can see right through their psychology, and their psychology is very sick. Uh, you know, but I understand it. Look, after you get 20,000 subs, you've been in this game this long. It's still it's still a fight to deal with because you're dealing with some nasty people. But guys, I'm a fighter. Okay, so I mean, I'm a lover more than a fighter. Because I try to avoid conflict. But in life, I've gotten to the point where if you push me far enough, there's going to be a problem. I don't want a problem, but so look, let's go back to live comments. Hopefully, me sharing this helps you a little bit. My man Brandon, 4.99 super chat. I wish I could scream, brother, but I got neighbors. I gotta respect it. Can you believe I'm living that life? Keep it up with the super sticker working out emoji. I still worked out today, man. I appreciate you, brother. Long time viewer, I believe, from Tennessee, like my man Journey One Jordan. And I believe also maybe truck driver. I believe you're a truck driver. So love to you. Love to all my truck driver nomads. Most truck drivers still have a home base, but there's some that are full-time nomads. Um, so love to you, brother. Love to everyone on the road. Over the course of the 4 years, I've spent a big part of that at truck stops. It's a haven for nomads or truck drivers, and I slept peacefully. I never had a problem. Like I say, I've had a couple people. I have a couple problems in my 4 years, a few incidences, but nothing major, thank God. So this fourth year now, going into my fifth year as a nomad, and still technically a nomad. I'm in a hotel, I don't have permanent residence, but I do feel in year four going into year five, if I stay in my car and just that, I felt like I was taking too much risk and not enough reward, especially after meeting certain financial objectives. I don't like spending more money than I need to, which I am a little bit now, but it's part of me rebalancing my life, or at least buying time till I figure out the next step. I've never felt it like I felt it this year, but this year I started to feel like I'm pushing it too much. I'm pushing the risk, and I don't need to, and so I'm still comfortable doing it, but I want to mitigate some of that risk because I don't need to. Now, again, it's a mental thing. I don't need to spend this much money. But again, I have to look at the context. 30 days, 1 month. Um, so 4 years is 60 months. So, this is, again, evolution. But thank you. I want to get to all live comments. Thank you, everyone, who's wishing me well. I see Gail, ESP. Thank you, Eric, Wendy, Charles, Jersey Life, Lynn, Kathy, Twista. Journey's in here. Suitcase. All right, let me go back live comments. Twista, respect Sam. Mutual respect back to you. Twista sunglass face emoji. Guys, I got my sunglasses on every day. Why? Because I'm in South Florida, and this is where I want to build. I want to have enough flexibility to leave during hurricanes, but being on the road for 4 years and traveling up and down the East Coast several times, and especially last year with COVID, what I learned was I could keep traveling, but for me, the desire to see other things other than South Florida is just not there. Like, I see people now traveling because this is a seasonal travel time where spring and summer people start to shift from the southern states to the northern states, or they go from east to west. And I look at their videos and I say, for them, they're enjoying themselves, and they should, again, because they've been in their house for years. And so now they're in exploration mode, which is great. I think that's healthy. But for me, especially if I see someone leave Florida and then I see them go to other places, I say, man, it looks worse and worse every time they leave Florida. Guys, Florida is a beautiful state. It's the best looking girl in America. Like, the United States of America is 50 states with individual state laws regulated by the federal government, overseen by the federal government. And if there's 50 girls, I think there's no doubt about it that Florida is, if not the best looking girl, top three. Now, again, beauty is an eye to beholder. I grew up with a short Haitian guy. He loved big white chicks. So everyone likes something different. And so, for me, you guys already know that. I mean, Florida's the wifey. Now, however, I'm not committed. I still need a little flexibility. So, I know ESP, she loved Alaska, Journey with Jordan, he in Tennessee, even though I think he misses Naples. So, that's how I feel. All right, let's go back live comments. Suitcase. Hey, Sam, what's up, brother? Happy Tuesday. Yeah, time flies, man. Happy Tuesday, Suitcase. It's been great to connect with you, man. I know you're thriving right now in exploration mode and making money as a journeyman electrician. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I remember I worked with some journeyman electricians in New Jersey because New Jersey had a lot of jobs, so people would always come from other states. And I remember working with some guys from South Dakota. And I was like, man, I never even knew. When I was young, South Dakota might as well have been Mars. I said, what goes on in South Dakota? And I remember him telling me nothing. That's why we're here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and there's a lot of truth to that. Twisted. You motivate me every day. Oh, hold on, excuse me, brother. Mal, all the way from Australia, used to be Brazil. How are you and your son? Hello, Sam. Good seeing you again. It's a blessing. My son and I are well. Good. I was just thinking about that. I have learned a lot from you. Thank you. You truly inspire me. Well, thank you for that gracious tip. It's amazing, Mel and others. It's amazing. Mel, is in another country. She's in Australia from Brazil, I believe. And it's amazing that I have people from other countries that watch me. It's wild. And other states, of course, again, we got, Tennessee, Alaska, all the different people, Boston, Michigan. So Europe, we got Europe in here strong. So it's a blessing. It's humbling, and it's encouraging. My man, Charles, shout out to the big white chicks. Hey, guys, look, whether you're a big white chick, a skinny Indian chick, whoever, it doesn't matter. Like I said, that's one thing I was fortunate about in New Jersey. It's a melting pot, and that's why I like South Florida, because it's very similar, the diversity. Some parts of Florida, just like some parts of New Jersey, the more south you go in New Jersey, the less diverse and the more conservative. Central and North Jersey, opposite. So again, in Florida, the saying is the more you go south, the more you go north. South Florida, especially East Coast, it's a major hub of immigration, of tourism. So you got people from all walks of life, all cultures, all religions, all races, and I like that mix. And you got everything. You got city life, or you got suburb life, or you got rural life. If that's the cool thing. It's like, there's a lot of different lifestyles. So, look, what I can tell you is I understand why people have a narrow perspective, because a lot of them, they just regurgitate what their parents' politics are, what their parents' thought process is, and then they regurgitate whatever they saw in their 30-mile radius. So if growing up, all they saw was the Confederate flag and, we hate the federal government and we want our rights, that's the life they know. And if all you grew up, when you were another age was, people from all walks of life, all religions, and in between those things, there's probably some truth, because both sides have a level of perspective. So I'm not saying that one side is always right, one side's always wrong. But what I'm trying to say is everyone needs a level of equality, a seat at the table, because Look, if America was not united with the 50 states, we would be taken over. And that's how basically we beat the Soviet Union. We broke the Soviet Union up, divide and conquer. So, look, the power of America is in the United States. If it was just Texas versus China, you'd be done. If it was just New Jersey versus, Russia, you'd be done, right? So, look, as much as we all hate HOAs, we all hate HOA is nothing but a government, right? As much as we hate it, um, and as much as we do need individuality, you got to have level for individuality. That's what makes America great too. There's something to said for a level of community. And look, you see it right now in some of the countries that don't have um, cohesivity. It's like, you still see it in America too. Nothing's perfect. But the good thing about in 2021 is with the internet, you're connected with people right now in every state, in different countries, and you're learning different perspectives. Think about 100 years ago. All you knew was whatever religion was taught you. All you knew was whatever your parents and your community told you. Now with the internet, you have every book in the world, every religion, every philosophy, every free porn in the world. And that scares some people because now they fear that they may have to learn something new. And they want to just regurgitate whatever their big bird put in their mouth. Remember, when birds feed their children, all they do is throw up in their children's mouth. And a lot of people, they just regurgitate whatever their parents threw up in their mouth, politically, religiously, and they don't go out there and figure out, well, what do I believe? And so, there's a lot to be said for that. Think of the bird that just throws up in their young mouth, and that's a lot of life. Let's take hydration break. Click the thumbs up. 98 people watching, 53 thumbs up. And my live feed's been on fire since I've been in the hotel. Back live comments. Thank you again, everyone. Twister, thank you. I read that. Yeah. Thank you very much, Twister, for the positive comment. My man, Journey with Jordan. Long time viewer, man. Journey, I can't believe you're still out there with me, man. God bless you, brother. He goes, congrats on the 20K subs. Can you believe it? Because you've been with me for a long time. Sam, I'm so proud of you. Well, I'm grateful for you. There's been some people, man, and I always look. And shout out to all the people from the beginning, man. I can't believe, sometimes I say, man, this person can't still be watching me, and I can't believe they still are, The interesting thing about YouTube, I've heard other people say it, is you can see me, you get to know me. I got no idea who you guys are. I got no idea who's watching me. Could be ex-girl, could be it could be whoever, right? Because I'm public, you're private. You got an avatar, but a lot of people don't like their avatar. Their avatar is nothing. So do I care? Look, that's part of being a YouTuber. You want to possibly get rewarded. You get to show your life to the world, but they don't have to show you their life, and you have to be comfortable with that. Have you ever had an ugly person criticize you, but you can't even see what they look like? That's what YouTube is. Yeah. So it's the risk. Look, there's a reward you get possibly for doing YouTube, and there is a punishment you get, almost guaranteed, that you're going to get some level of trolling, some level of negativity, or even if you don't, like Jersey Life Lynch got a very positive channel. A lot of people love her, and I love her too. I think she's awesome, great, smart, strong woman. Very proud of her. But she barely. I don't think I've ever seen a thumbs down on her video. So it is possible, but if she keeps growing, she got 4,000 subs. If she keeps growing, she'll eventually get some psychopath guy that likes her, and then he leaves crazy comments, and then eventually she blocks him, and then he just thumbs down. That's what happens. And there's always a couple people that test that boundary as you grow. When you're a small channel with a couple hundred or a couple thousand, you may get a few, but once you get to the 10, 15, 20,000, you're always going to have a few, always. And like I said, I cannot say that I've always been right. Some negativity I probably put out there, and I have to be accountable for that. But it's part of life. You're not going to be perfect. So basically, again, you're a public person who's willing to not be perfect and figure it out as you go. And look, if you don't really share the good and the bad, and if you're not willing to be imperfect, you may not offend people, but you're really not going to connect or go to the next level. Now, I don't look to be offensive. I don't look to be Howard Stern, right? But I try to pretty much be direct, and look, last year was a big crossroads too because it got very political, and I spoke it on my channel with COVID and with Trump, and I lost a lot of people with that. And I know people cringe even when I talk about it now, and I understand it. But look, I'll speak what I need to speak for me, uh, and it is what it is. But I don't think that all. Again, I don't think all one side is right or wrong politically. Obviously, there's certain things that I don't like on one side or the other. But look, if you look at the context, I think I got over 3,000 videos. A small percentage of them are about politics or religion per se. They come up because they're part of life, and I'm not going to be one of these YouTubers that say I don't talk about it. I mean, I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to like make it. It's not my life. Just like it's not my life now. I don't watch the news all day. I'm not a political junkie, and I'm not like really one way or the other per se. I mean, I have my certain way I lean, but for me, I'm more focused on what can I do to improve my life, and that's how I live my life. And let's go back to live comments. Thank you, Journey Twister. Have you heard of the molasses hierarchy of needs? No, I haven't heard of that. It is basically the 5 stages of human psyche needs to work through to be fulfilled. I never heard of that. You can't skip one. You must go from the bottom to the top. Well, I have to read that. I mean, I don't like the rigidness. Like, it sounds like Dave Ramsey, even though Dave Ramsey helped me a lot. And without him, I probably wouldn't have the structure and it wouldn't be where I'm at. But I also didn't do every baby step exactly. So, it's like 10 Commandments, like Dave Ramsey or like that. It's like you do need the structure, but you also need grace. You also need flexibility. But I do respect anyone that can structure. Life is science and art. Science is structure, it's data, it's specifics. Art is, a small Haitian guy likes big white chicks. It's unexplainable. It's just, but Heavy D, Biggie Smalls, pull a lot of chicks. Unexplainable, right? So there's some parts of life that are just painting. They don't make sense. And there's some parts that are written in stone. It's a mix. Life's not exact science. Twisted. To be healthy mentally. Well, I appreciate you bringing it up. I'm definitely going to research that. I don't think I've ever heard of that. I learned something. Thank you for sharing. Kathy, hey, Kathy, shout to Chicago. God bless you, Kathy. Kathy, very positive woman. And you are great. Hey, Sam, congrats. Sounds like you have some good news. I do. And again, thank you, Kathy, because you've been very positive. You don't ask for anything, and I just appreciate who you are. Hopefully, my videos do help you in some way because, I want to give back in whatever way I can, whether information, entertainment, inspiration, motivation, whatever. So thank you, Kathy. Jersey Life, Lynn, there she is. Hey, Sam, congrats on the 20K. Well, congrats on the 4K. Look, Jersey Life, Lynn has a main job as a caretaker, and she has a side hustle as a YouTuber. She started her channel. She's got 4,000 subs. She's monetized. And she makes a video every week, and she has a wide variety of topics. And she's very honest. That's what I like about her too, about a variety of topics. But she's very subtle. She's very fair and very non-drama, but direct. I could tell she's direct. I like that. And so, I like Jersey Life, Lynn's channel. Very nice channel. Good job. Thank you, Jersey. Lynn, Charles. Congrats, Sam, on the 20K subs. Charles, man, you've been with me a long time. Shout out to you. You finally made it to Florida this year. That's a huge accomplishment. Part of the reason why I started my channel in one sense, right? Now, I know you're not totally happy with the Tampa area, and that's why I always tell people don't buy property in Florida until you've lived here a couple years. I've been here for a couple years, and I've been closer this year than ever because I've narrowed down the areas that I like most. But even then, I'm still a little hesitant. But what I can tell you is when you think of going back up north or back somewhere else, just remember there's 50 states in America. There's 50 girls. And I'm not saying Florida's perfect, but I'm saying if you leave Florida for Wisconsin, you got to really evaluate, what is your taste in women, okay? Because what I can tell you is you want to be eating cheese or you want to be dancing under palm trees. Guys, you know me, Florida for the win. Wendy, you're a fighter. Wendy's been through a lot in life, and I can't believe you're still here too because you got your own issues. You're a gracious woman. Wendy, that would be great, Sam, if you aired live later. Yeah, I have been. I've noticed with my hotel live feeds, I've been going live sometime between 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And when I was in my vehicle, I was going live between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. So about an hour later, this is Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. I know some of you on the West Coast or Central Time or across the globe. So I still think it's a good time for all time zones. It's still in like prime time, right? Prime time is pretty much, I don't know. I don't know the exact, but let's just say 7 p.m. Eastern till 10 p.m. Eastern. So if you're in that pocket, that's the best time to go live. And a little bit later, between 8 and 9 is great because the central time zone, they're an hour behind. So that's right, even better. And the West Coast is 3 hours behind. So that's great. However, every people are creatures of habit. So, it'll take a little adapting. But yeah, I still think it's a good window to shoot for because I go live a little bit later because I don't have to run around after the live feed to go to the gym and take a shower and then go to my camping spot. So here I got everything here. So after I do the live feed, I take a shower, I go right to bed. Everything's within this whatever 200 square feet. So, you know, this has allowed a better quality of life in the hotel for 30 days because I'm not fighting traffic as much. I'm not dealing with the public. And while some of that is very exciting and some of living in a hotel is very boring, but I am balancing some of the excitement with some stability to evolve. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but this is just buying me time, but also building new habits. Again, there's three parts of life: survival, exploration, and building. And so I don't want to keep forcing myself to survive and explore when I'm not in that mode. I'm in the building mode. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to build permanent, but I'm building. Even if it's just building for a certain 30 nights, right? I am resetting certain ways of my life. And it's bringing me a little bit better in balance. I feel it. It's a little bit maybe less exciting, all right, because I'm not like hanging out the side of a car, like, oh, yeah. But I'm confident enough to evolve. If you're not, you're always going to be stuck in a relationship that's over. You're always going to be at teen night at the club when you're in your 40s, and you're going to stay in the area you grew up because you don't want to evolve. And so you always have to be willing to evolve. It's not easy, and you guys have seen me struggle with that. I've shared with you. I haven't acted like it's easy. I've never tried to oversell one thing or the other. I've been passionate and I've been intense because that's the moment I've been in. But like I always share, there's a time to be intense and then there's a time to balance out. There's a time to take your chocolate chip mint ice cream and throw it out the window. Okay. And then there's a time where you have to eat some more calories because you're too damn skinny. There's a balance. Okay. And so you can't live in full blown intensity all the time, but you can't live in a sedentary recliner all the time. You have to balance. And that is a tough part about life for many people. And back to her live comments, I apologize. She goes, I keep renewing on my membership because you air when I work out. I can membership back in if you are going to do the live feeds later. Thanks, Sam. Well, thank you, number one, for any support. Two is you don't owe me anything, so do whatever is best for you. Three is, yes, I plan to probably do the live feeds at this point between 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if that works for you, great. If it doesn't, I understand. Again, I respect and I got love for everyone, especially people who show some love and support. But I always tell you guys, I'm not here to manipulate you or ask you for 10%. Anyone can still watch for free. Obviously, to me, the greatest thing about the memberships or whatever is that you're not committed. You can cancel at any time, and I think that makes for a healthy relationship because they're like I always tell you guys. Look, for $9.99 a month, I'm paying, $100 a night to stay at a hotel. You're not married, you're not committed, so and you're not even obligated to do that. All the videos are still available to everyone, to watch on replay, to watch live. So again, thank you, and yeah, hopefully the time period works out for you. And hopefully, yeah, you get some value out of them while you work out or whenever you watch them. So thank you, Wendy. I love you, Wendy. And I think about you often because I know you've struggled with drugs. I know you shared that. And I love that you're working out because anxiety is unused energy. And if you don't work out, idle time and all that energy needs to go to something, whether it's eating, drugs, or relationships. And so self care is the ultimate. If you don't know what to do, self care. And if you don't know what self care is, it's going on a treadmill, it's lifting weights, it's going for a walk, it's doing laundry, it's waking up early, it's resisting a nap. It's a variety of things. It could be indulging too, it can be treating yourself, but it's a variety of things. Wendy says, I just got finished working out. I am able to catch the live feed and participate in the chat. It's great to have you. Like I said, for me, as I get older, look, once you get past 40, you do not have the same level of muscle mass or testosterone or whatever. Um, but one thing that you always still have is every time you work out, it's not just better physically, but mentally. Every time I'm done working out, I feel better mentally, even if it's just a little bit. And so, like I said, that to me, that's got to be part of my habits. Never go more than 3 days without going to the gym. Always try to go for a 15-minute walk after you eat a meal. Try to go for at least 3 walks a day. Um, try not to take naps unless you're very sick or elderly because depression is a real thing, guys. And I still, we all struggle with it. Like someone asked me today, and I said, look, everyone deals with life. I know people, all walks of life, financially and every other way, but everyone has issues. Rich, poor, and in the middle. So depression and stress, it's something that us as humans have to deal with. And so I don't have all the answers, but I do know this. Be honest with yourself and push yourself to be active. Yeah. Hal, congrats, my brother. I appreciate you, Hal. I've been thinking about you a lot staying at this hotel, man. Really have. Keep being real. That sub count will hit 30K. Well, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Like I say, subs is one metric. The main metric is views, obviously memberships, super chats. But it's like everything. The subs set a standard, and even if you only get 1 to 5% of people that sub that watch your videos, if the subs are growing, the views are growing. So again, I would say 1 to 5% is accurate, right? So let's say my average video gets 1,000, 1,500 views. If I got 20,000 subs, 10% of 20,000 is 2,000. So I've somewhere about 5% or so people on a regular basis watch my videos. So, no channel, just about any channel, you're not going to see 100% of the subs watch the channel. So your conversion rate, meaning the rate of the effective user on your channel, is usually somewhere between 1 to 5%. Sometimes you get to 10%. So I'm very grateful for what I have. In one sense, it's even more. I always kind of think that I'm going to be able to do it, but in one sense, this is more than I even thought. And in one sense, it shows me, the power of consistency. In one sense, I thought investments were going to take me further than YouTube. But the reality is, YouTube has been more fruitful than investments. So, and even though I did YouTube for free for 2 years, so, and I always say that because I know a lot of people always say, well, if they don't want to take this job because it doesn't pay too much, or they're not going to do something if they're not getting. Look, sometimes you do what you got to do. So, like I say, that's one thing that you got to learn in life, that you have to start something and you got to just keep showing up. And some things will work out, some things won't, but nothing works out, nothing, if you don't show up and keep showing up. So, and I know there's been a lot of people, Journey, Tony from Canada, that I don't think they really connect with much of what I say, but one thing that helped them was they were getting ready to quit their job or they dropped out of the workforce, and the message of showing up, they connected with it and they applied it to their life. I sparked them, but their engine, they applied it, and it helped their money bag. Um, and that's the bottom line, you guys. Look, I hope cryptocurrency or whatever people invest in, I hope it makes money. But the truth is, I can just guarantee for most of society, it ain't going to be cryptocurrency that's going to make them be able to retire or just to live. It's going to be showing up consistently. Because you're going to be in a sad place if you're not showing up. And if you're just depending on a stock or an investment, if that goes sour, I mean, that's a bad place mentally and financially when you're banking on something that it can go any way. So anything can go any way. Look, your job can lay you off, but you have to always think about, right? If your job lays you off, you have work experience because you worked with that job, and you'll have references. And what do you need to get another job? Work experience and references. So while it is true that any job can lay you off at any time, and I've been laid off, I remember being laid off like 2 weeks before Christmas one time. But even when you get laid off, remember that it wasn't for nothing. You got work experience, and now you have something on your resume, and now you have references because you worked with people. So it's like, you can utilize that. You can't say that. You can't take that, oh, I bought Bitcoin, it was up 300%. And it's like, who cares? That doesn't help people as far as employing, right? So again, I don't want to be negative towards anyone who's making money on investments. I think it's awesome. And I celebrate success. I don't hate on it. But I always want to share with you that you want that to be a smaller percentage, around 30% of your assets, because that way, if it goes great, great. If it doesn't, it's not great, but it's not suicidal. It's not a disaster. So that just helps you live a better life. That's basic, simple, practical advice, and I think that's very fair advice. Thank you. Hal, thank you again for everything, brother. Gail, longtime viewer too, and she did so well for herself in securing a home base and you still have the flexibility to travel when it fits you, Gail. But I'm very proud of you. Watch your videos. Keep uploading if you want to, whether you're in your apartment or whether you're in your Prius or whether you're just doing an errand, because you have over half the amount you need to be monetized. You have about 550 subs. You need 1,000 subs and a certain amount of watch time to be monetized. So you're halfway there. You know how hard it is to get 500 subs? It's hard. I remember struggling to get 100, then struggling to get 500, then struggling to get 1,000. So it seems like just a couple months ago I was at 15,000, and it's true. I did a video 3 months ago. I said, now I'm at 20,000. I got 5,000 subs in like 3 months. However, it took me about 2 years to get 5,000 subs. Now I got 5,000 subs in 3 months. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time, and because I've made videos, the RV videos, the travel videos, the personal vlog videos, and I've been consistent, and now when new people click on my video, they're recommended other videos, and it's the catalog of other videos that says, man, there's a lot of stuff here, and then that's how they hit subscribe. And so that's how success builds over time. Again, you got to get a little lucky. Not that, but you got to show up and you got to make videos about things. And I tell you, if you're totally lost, I always give a pro tip. If you're totally lost, go to a car dealership and do videos about every new car on that lot. Because most people who come to YouTube, they're not looking for a personal blogger. They're looking for a review on a Toyota Prius. They're looking for a review on an RV. They're looking for a Jeep Renegade owner review. I had a lot of my viewers. One of my videos that went viral was me doing an owner's review on my Jeep Renegade. because people don't want to see a salesman or a blogger give a review. They want to see someone who actually owns it give a basic review, and that's what I did. And so use what you have, and like I will tell you, Jersey Life Lynn, she's a very resourceful woman. She does that. And so, Gail, you do that, and love to you. Keep up the great work as well. Thank you for those great celebration emojis and balloon emojis. And thank you, Gail, for your love and support. I'm very proud of you. Keep pushing forward as best you can. I loved in your video how you said you were fighting depression, fighting, and trying to focus on the positive. And I totally relate to that, and that was well said. Kathy, Sam, great to see your channel growing. I'm appreciative. What a journey. It's been a wild one. Your videos are very helpful, and I enjoy your content a lot. Well, Kathy, your comments are very positive, and I appreciate you a lot. Thank you. My man Brandon, longtime viewer too, man. Shout out to you. Thank you again, brother. Love and appreciation is all I can tell you. Thank you, man. ESP, longtime viewer too. Amazing that she's in Alaska. And she says, congratulations, Sam. Is YouTube famous? Yep. You guys know me. Keep the fame. Give me the money. Because I really don't like to be noticed. I've been noticed 4 times in public because of my YouTube fame. All of them been positive, and I'm grateful for those people. But I'm a type of person, I'm staying to myself, you know what I mean? That's how I am. So thank you, ESP. Pluto, brother, love to you, man. $3 super chat, thumbs up to you too, Pluto. Like you always show me love and support in the comments or whatever for a long time. And what I want to tell you is the same love and support back to you, because I know it was a big year last year and you're going through a big transition this year. So you know the basics. You always repeat them of self-care. I know they're not easy, but I know that when you're lost, it doesn't matter if you go to a therapist or a personal trainer, they're going to tell you the basic same things. Manage your time, stay productive, show up, self-care. Now, there's different things in between those, but those are the basics. So I'm not saying that life is easy even when you know the basics, but I'm saying at least there is a level of knowledge, because knowledge is a level of power, and at least there's a level of direction, because doing nothing is depression times 3. Idle time is definitely the devil's playground. So I love you, Pluto. Shout out to you and your brother Tariq. Thank you for your long time viewership. You owe me nothing. Keep working on yourself. I love you even if we never talk again, and that's real. Thank you again, ESP. I'm so proud of you, ESP. A strong, smart woman. Been through a lot in life. Very smart. Likes her privacy like me. She won't even show her face on YouTube. I don't blame her. And she's in exploration mode, and rightfully so, because she's spent enough time building and being indoors. And so, how long will she explore it? There's everyone, guys, we're all on our own timetable. I mean, it's like I always tell you guys, if you're going to live in your car, most people will not last 12 months full time. If you get past 12 months, 1 to 3 years, probably the average. The average person trades in their RV every 3 to 5 years. Again, I've been on YouTube for 4 years, going on 5. And most nomads they're on their 3rd van or 3rd rig and 3rd build out. And so I'm on 30 days in a hotel. Okay, so even though the hotel is, you could say expensive, guys, I'd have to stay in the hotel a lot of months to equal a RV or campground fees or gas or maintenance. So, and I can leave tomorrow or right now. I'm not saying this is the long-term fix, but one of the videos that I made in the very beginning of my channel, I remember it very clearly, I was on a lunch break, was RV living. It's not so simple. It's not so cheap. And I really thought I was going to get an RV initially. But 2 things prevented that. One is, in New Jersey, the culture to RV is not that big because you can't camp in the winter. It's too cold. But also, when I looked into it, initially I said, man, an RV is a no-brainer. It's like a small house. I said, yeah, this is for me. But then when I looked into the camping fees, the logistical planning, some of the maintenance depending on what you get, and the restriction of movement because you can't park anywhere, go anywhere, I said, wow, RV is not simple and cheap. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying you got to really think about an RV, especially once you get. Look, if you're going to buy a 5,000 RV, 5,000, and if it's a little travel trailer, maybe. But there's no $5,000 travel trailers that are worth anything, and so you're going to need to spend at least 15,000, and you're going to need a tow vehicle. So I think if you already have a tow vehicle, maybe the travel trailer makes sense if you can really budget in campground fees or wherever you're going to park it. Because where do you park your RV is your biggest problem. Once you get an RV, there's no turning back. Now, a motorhome, you're not towing something, but whether you're in a Class B, Class C, or Class A, you have a motor in your home. And now you have married vehicle and dwelling. And for better or worse, and that's what it is, for better or for worse. And the biggest thing I would tell anyone looking at an RV is I want you to look at where you're going to park it. Stealth parking, I spent many nights, probably more than most people ever will, in truck stops, in parking lots, etc., stealth, whatever. And you can do it even in an RV, but there's more eyes on you in an RV. There's more fuel cost. There's less flexibility. And if you get that knock, where are you going? And so, if you're in a car, you're more stealth, you're more fuel efficient. If you get the knock, you can do a lot more things. You still got to move, but you're moving at a more efficient rate. You can stay at a hotel, you can Airbnb. You could do the same thing in an RV, but you didn't get an RV to Airbnb or stay at a hotel. You got an RV to hit the road. So you just, once you get an RV, you go to another dimension. Now, I will say this. It would have been cheaper for me to buy an RV than put money in investments. Because I always tell you guys, if I add up what I lost in investments, it's more than an RV. So I don't want to get down on RVs or people who have RVs. Because if it's below your means, it's a no-brainer if that's what you want to do. That's the bottom line with everything. Well, look, RV may not be a best investment, but if it's below your means, if it's, as an example, 30% of your net worth, hey, now if it's 100% of your net worth and you're selling your house, that's a red flag, right? So that's what you got to look at if you want to go into the dimension of RV nomad. You have to go into what percentage of the RV cost is your net worth. As an example, you sell your house. Let's say you get $50,000. Okay. Let's say you have another 10,000 in savings. So let's say that's everything you have, and you have a paid-off little car. So let's say basically you have a $60,000 net worth. Okay. If you go on a car lot, if you go to an RV lot, okay, and if you buy a $50,000 fifth wheel, and you got to get a pickup truck, now you're looking at 7,500K. That's over 125% of your net worth. Yes, the payments may only be $600-700 a month, but the total cost of the transaction is more than your net worth. That's a red flag. Again, if your net worth is 60K and you buy 80K Class B, way out of proportion. So if your net worth was 100K and you bought a $15,000 travel trailer and you already have a tow vehicle, as long as you can understand the camping cost, that makes sense, right? So there's investments and there's lifestyles and there's no exact science, but these are some general things that you would need to think about in this type of life. D. Sam, D, thank you again for sharing everything you've shared. I think about you every time I hear the word depression and every time I struggle with a bad thought. I think about you. I know you shared, and I thank you for sharing. I thank you. Your testimony, basically what you've been through and sharing what you've been through, good and bad, is the best thing you can do because it's what connects you to other people. Celebration emojis, trophy emojis. Sam, congratulations. Your hard work paid off. Well, thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And thank you for your gratitude. Appreciation to you. Mel, thank you again. Love to you and your son. It's been great connecting with you. You've been here for a while. Shout to you. Charles, thank you again, man. Very positive person. It's good to laugh. Laughter is good for the soul. I'm very proud of you. I know you're still in a transition period. You just came to Florida. Give yourself time. Don't go running back, but keep your options open. You got flexibility. Adam's laughing on the ground. Good. No big chicks for me. Nothing wrong with big chicks. Like I said, I got some great big chicks to watch this channel. I'm a bigger guy. My mom's a big chick, so I'm not a big chick hater. Uh, so I have learned that there's someone for everyone. Uh, Now I know you're just joking, obviously, but I don't, and I say big chicks. I don't, but look at the big chicks, and like I tell you a story. My mom's a big chick, and I don't know what it was last summer or the summer before. I was visiting my mom, and it was the summertime, and there was girls wearing bikinis. We were by the Jersey Shore, and she goes, "Sam, look at that big girl in that bikini." And I said, "Ma, why are you busting her chops?" And she wouldn't say it to her. She said it to me private. I said, "Ma, you're big. Why are you talking about that big chick?" And she goes, So, everyone judges everyone. So, love to you, Matt. Charles, laughing at Adam. Yeah, twisted. Texas can take China though. Yeah, look, guys. Remember, um, there is there's the Chinese government and there's the Chinese people. Just like there's the U.S. government and there's the U.S. people. George Bush didn't represent necessarily most of the country when we went to war with Afghanistan or Iraq, right? Um, China's government doesn't represent most of the Chinese people. Just like Russia doesn't. Most of the people, and you'll know this too. I mean, I had family members that were drafted in Vietnam. Look, now we're best friends with Vietnam. We get a lot of stuff made in Vietnam. So, what I can tell you is there's a reason many people dodged the draft, including Trump. It is because powers to be decide when is it necessary to go to war. And the truth is, whether you're American, Chinese, Brazilian, Vietnam, whatever, wherever you're at, most of the regular people in that country are just trying to do for themselves and take care of their family and enjoy their life. But because of the politics, because of things outside of the regular people's control, you get sucked into this hate, judgment. Um, is there stuff wrong with Chinese government? Of course. Is there stuff wrong with American government? Of course. Um, and so one thing that I hope that the internet does allow, and I know China doesn't allow some things on the internet, and that's a negative. And America doesn't too, I guess. So it's a tough thing, All I can tell you is, again, growing up in New Jersey, I had friends that were Chinese. So how do I look at China? How do I look at my Chinese friend? How do I look at my Jewish friend? How do I look at my black friend? How do I look at my big girlfriend? I look at them like, if they're good to me, I'm good to them. If there's respect, I didn't get along with some Italian people. Okay, I'm Italian. So what that taught me was, it's you can't really say because this person is of this, it equals that. Again, that one troll who's verbally abusive, his father was, he has a very nasty channel, very sarcastic. He's very much into that, into that thought process of blaming China or doing this. And I'm not saying there's not blame to go around. I'm not a pacifist, but I'm also not a reactionist. There's way more. I mean, do you think America hasn't been involved in things in other countries? So all I know is that I'm very grateful for America, uh, but I also know, look, America has its negatives. And I hope that whatever the future holds for all the nations, is that the regular people are thought of, because politics, man, and powers to be, they know, um, they know the strings to pull on people. Uh, so, but people, a lot of people do it to themselves too. I mean, but here's the bottom line, then we'll go next comment, is that sometimes when we say, well, it's very hard for people to get along in other countries or even in this country or whatever, but look at your own, everyone, including me, look at your own family. The reason why I don't go up to New Jersey, I mean, obviously, other than the weather, is I don't want to be involved in family drama. So, sometimes my father used to say that he would talk about politics and everything, whether he would talk about immigrants or whether he would talk about people living off the system. I said, Dad, you're an immigrant, you're an American worker. When you got laid off from the union, you would collect unemployment until it ran out. You got two daughters that are on government assistance, and you're talking about other people bleeding the system. And you've been divorced, and you're talking about you care if people have shared bathrooms. You got remarried. That's against the Catholic doctrine. You got remarried in Atlantic City. Here's an Italian Catholic that didn't believe that we should have shared bathrooms. That was a big thing 2 elections ago. Oh, the gay people are going too far. And look, guys, I'm not gay. I mean, to me, so I don't care. You want a shared bathroom? I don't care. A neutral bathroom don't bother me. But I said two things. I said, Dad, I said, if that's the case, if we're going to start interjecting religion into politics, you shouldn't allowed to be remarried. It says in the Bible that unless your spouse died or unless you had adultery committed on you, should never remarry. You remarried. And he couldn't get remarried in the Catholic Church. He had to go to Atlantic City, the state. So people are hypocrites. That's the bottom line, of all walks of life. Every race, every religion, every culture, every country, and that's the duality of humanity. Is that like Dee says, like men are messy. Well, women clog the toilet, clog the drain with their hair and their tampon products. So I know a couple women, they're cleaner than me, but they got to call the plumber every 2 months. It's a disaster. So men and women have their pros and cons. Okay, men may have a ring around the toilet. They may have a shit stain in their toilet. Women have a plumber on speed dial. So pick your poison. Okay. Let's take a hydration break. Yeah, these live feeds, an hour and 22 minutes on a live feed, 80 people watching, 78 thumbs up. Let's get over 100 thumbs up. Click that thumbs up. And guys, these live feeds from a hotel, we're on fire. 20,000 subs tonight, 30 nights in a hotel, showing up every day. Thank you, guys. Love to you. Back to live comments. Where are we at? Jersey Life Lynn, thank you again for those great emojis. Shout out to you and your family. My man, Journey. Yeah, I can't be here every night. I can't believe you. I appreciate you still supporting, man. But I still watch your daily videos. Thank you. And old streams a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I was on. It's amazing to watch my old streams. It's like listening to Nas Illmatic. Now I'm on like Streets Disciple, or I'm on I don't know, I'm on a whole nother level. But it's still good to watch the old ones. I think I've been around since you were at 4K. You've been a long time. That's amazing. Like I said, guys, you know how long it took me to get to 4,000 subs? I just got 5,000 subs in 3 months because I just celebrated 15,000 subs like in February. Now it's May. So that's a lesson, not a bragging. Because again, I think YouTube can shut off tomorrow. I'm not entitled to it. But I want to encourage you that it's going to be very hard in the beginning. It's still hard, and I'm not going to say you could retire off it or anything like that. But the consistent flow, getting off your butt, my RV videos, mixing those in with daily vlogs, mixing in some practical life lessons about moving, sharing my personal journey. That catalog, that variety, that consistency, it has some value. So it's like, when Michael Jackson sells his catalog of music, obviously I'm not comparing myself to Michael Jackson, but I'm saying it's the body of work that is packaged together and that gives the value to people. Again, whether it's entertainment, information, or inspiration. That's why people watch. And when you show up every night and when you show up every morning, people get into a habit and it gives them some value, whether they're watching you when they drink their coffee, they're watching you at night. Good to see you, Infinity. Yeah, I heard about the fuel shortage. I'm not sure. Right now, which my mom asked me, what is the fuel cost in South Florida? It's $2.89 a gallon where I'm at. If you go to some rich areas, it'd be a little bit more. My mom said I think it's $2.99 in New Jersey. Now I know the fuel shortage was because supposedly of a cyber attack. I'm not sure of anything else. But look, fuel is going up no matter what because of inflation, and fuel always goes up, always, since I've been young, right before Memorial Day, right before travel season. So whether it's a hurricane that adds to it, because then they got to shut down oil rigs in the Gulf or whatever, whether it's a cyber attack, but I can bank this. You buy oil stocks, okay, in April, because by the end of May, by Memorial Day, oil is always up. Now, last year was the exception because of the coronavirus lockdown. But oil always goes up before travel season, Memorial Day. So now, again, there's always exceptions, so I'm not saying buy any one stock or something, but I'm just trying to say this is a pattern of oil prices throughout history. And then if you add an extra component like a war, a cyber attack, a hurricane, it's another reason why it goes up. But it always goes up right before Memorial Day. And in the winter, it tends to fluctuate down. But, so back to live comments. Pat Go's got a great sense of humor. Thank you, Pat Go, for your sense of humor. Hey, Sam, great channel. You're a great member. ESP has seen bears in Alaska. She's a survivor. She's a smart lady. Timothy, what's up, Timothy? Great to have you. Hey, everyone. Timothy, great to have you, brother. Thank you. One of my newer members, man. Thank you. Jersey Lifeline. I get a lot of bad comments too. Do you? You do a good job deleting them. It's okay. It's part of being public. Now you're a strong, smart woman. You are amazing, Pat. Bob Ross raised an orphan squirrel. Did he? I didn't know that. Named Peabod the pocket squirrel. Named because he liked to hide in Bob's pocket. Never forget it. I didn't know that. I got back to the park today and I fed my squirrels, and it was good to be outdoors. So even though I'm staying in a hotel, I want it to be mainly for the nighttime or for doing work, but I still want to be outdoors the vast majority of the day. That's why I moved to Florida. That's why I'm by the ocean. It's good to get fresh air. One thing I don't like about the hotel life is there's not a lot of fresh air. I don't have windows that open up. And so, yeah, love to you, Pat. The election is over. 2020 is over. COVID, question. It's got to be uphill from here. Yeah, hopefully it gets better. Last year was a very challenging year. Election years always are, but obviously last year was one for the record books. It was a very contentious person and a very contentious issue. So put all that together and you have contention. Politics are always been contentious, no matter who. But I think if any fair person cannot say, yeah, you're the most contentious person ever, bottom line. I mean, I don't know, the election's over. I remember they said, like, if Biden won, the economy would tank. Stock market's all-time high. COVID's recovering. So, look, Trump was a fraud, man. Dude was a fraud in New York, man. Everyone knew he was a fraud in New York, okay? I'm not saying he's not right about some shit, but he's been a fraud since he dodged a draft and became G.I. Joe, the biggest military supporter in the world. Dude's a fraud. He got a lot of people killed, whether it was with race relations or whether it was with the government takeover after he lost the election. Hillary lost by less. Dude has blood on his hands. He's a fraud, a bad person. Some good people may have liked him, but I don't care if people take away their thumbs up or their membership. What he did to people's lives matters. Okay, and to me, he still hasn't apologized. He still hasn't repented. And I'm not going to say, again, he's been right. He was right on some things, but wrong on more and hurt more people. He is the cause of some deaths of his own followers. So to me, I don't fuck with him. But again, I'm not saying I love Biden or I love this person, but I'm saying I don't fuck with Trump, man. I don't like him. Look, I was willing to let some stuff slide, but what I saw last year, I don't blame him for COVID, but I blame him how he reacted, and I blame him how he reacted after several things, including all the way up to when they basically had to push him out of office, and a police officer died in the riots on Capitol Hill. His followers died, and he said, "I'll be right there with you," just like he wasn't right there with him, just like he wasn't right there in Vietnam. So. Look, he disrespected. He started his whole campaign off disrespecting McCain, disrespecting Obama. His whole thing was disrespect, not respect and love. He don't care about the country. If he cared about the country, he would have never did what he did. He cares about himself and his family. That's it. And that's sad. And I still see a lot of Trump supporters down here. But look, there were more Hillary supporters and there were more Biden supporters. Popular vote shows it, data. And but so I'm sorry to bring up politics, but to me, that again, I know some great people of all different walks of life, all different races that voted for Trump, and I still respect them and I love them, and I hate some liberal people I know. But look, it was a bad year. Trump made it worse. So it made me question, does he really love the country? Does he really love people? Or does he just love himself? And again, growing up in the New York area, we already knew from the door, all Trump loves is himself, man. That's how he always been since back in the day. So it was like for us, it was no difference than what we always knew him to be. A straight dirtbag. D. Charles, how long have you been in Florida now? Twister, Sam, I got my vaccine yesterday and I started doing DoorDash today. $60 in 4 hours. That's awesome. $60 minus about 30%, that would be for your gas wear and tear. So 30% of 60, 10% is 6, 12, 18. So deduct about $20. You made a net profit of about $40. So if you can make $150 a day, you can take home about $100 a day. If you can make $100 a day, that's $3,000 a month take home. Okay, because if you gross 150, you're going to net 100, and if you net 100 a day, and if you worked every day, there's 30 days in a month. That's 3,000. So now look, I'm not saying you're going to want to work every day, but in my experience, if you did DoorDash on a regular basis in a populated market, you can make $2,000 to $3,000 per month, sometimes more, but I would say that is a good average for most people. And if it's a side hustle, if you make $40, $50 a day, if you make $50 a day as a side hustle, 50 times 30, there's 30 days in a month, that's $1,500 extra a month. That's a car payment, that's a mortgage payment, that's paying off debt. So DoorDash is the ultimate independent contractor work. Now, the only problem with DoorDash, which I didn't know in the beginning, is technically the biggest liability is you don't have car insurance when you operate off the DoorDash app. Technically, by letter of the law, you need commercial driving insurance with your either your insurance carrier or another supplemental insurance carrier if they don't coverage it, because if you get in an accident and if your insurance company investigates it, and nowadays with all the data tracking, I can almost guarantee you if you get in an accident, almost every insurance company is going to check to see, if you were had an app open doing DoorDash or Uber. Technically, if you got in a major accident or any accident, and if your insurance company can prove that you were doing DoorDash, they're not going to pay for anything. And if you totaled someone's car, if you killed someone, God forbid, you could lose everything. So the biggest thing I want to tell you out there, and which I had to learn too, which it does suck, is that if you're going to do DoorDash or Uber, anything like that, Instacart, you have to call your insurance company and get a quote on commercial car insurance. And if they don't provide it, they usually can recommend a third party insurance company that will provide it. Now, the good news is, whatever you have to pay for that additional insurance, you can deduct it off your tax rate for your income of DoorDash. So you can mitigate your tax liability. But that's a major component that you got to think about. Twisted, today was my first day. Great job. Remember, when in doubt, hit accept. Because I don't care if it's D, $15 super chat. Celebrate the 20K. Well, D, I appreciate that. Like I always tell you, love and gratitude to you. You just keep doing you and being you. I'm just being me. I love you and I thank you and I appreciate that. Thank you very much, D. Appreciation. Thank you. They're very gracious of you. The biggest thing that I can tell you, like with DoorDash or YouTube, is that be reliable. Don't begrudge $2 super chats. Don't begrudge $2 deliveries. There's some people that I met online and some in real life that they are very firm. They will not accept a DoorDash delivery below $5. It's not worth it. I'm not saying they're totally wrong, but this is what I want to say they're wrong. When you get into a rhythm of accepting and being thankful for every delivery, you will get, on average, more deliveries and you'll make more money than if you cherry picked. Because it's the same thing as you saying, well, I'm not going to be thankful or I'm not going to accept any super chat that's below $5. It's not worth my time. I sit here for an hour. What type of person would say that? An ungrateful person who's never going to build their channel. So what type of person would say, I'm not going to accept a $5? When I did DoorDash, I accepted just about every delivery. Now, I became a top dasher. Some people say it's stupid, it's not worth it. I disagree. I disagree with that. I disagree with the philosophy. And I've shown that on YouTube. I showed that in everything. And so again, I'm not saying everyone has to agree with me, but I'm saying for me, I can only share with you what has helped me. Brandon, $5 super chat, superstar. I wish I could scream, but I got neighbors now. Brandon, thank you very much. Very gracious of you. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you again, D. I have so much gratitude. You guys don't have to tip me. I'm grateful for it. Thank you. Very much appreciated with all my heart. Thank you. Back to live comments. D, get up, dress up, and get out. D, you nailed it in 3 simple, concise sayings. Good job, D. ESP. ESP says, laughing at Paco. Paco's got a good sense of humor. I've seen bears without even going on a hike. I've seen a few black bears in downtown Anchorage, Alaska. One kept me from going to my downtown apartment and was at my door. See, for me, I've never seen a bear. Have I ever seen an alligator? I've seen one on Sunable Island. I've seen one shark in the Atlantic Ocean. But I've never seen a bear. Jersey Life Lynn, awesome at Twista. I'm thinking of joining DoorDash. Yeah, Lynn, you would kill it because you're a hard worker, and for that would bring you to 3 sources of income. You have a main job as a caretaker. You have a side hustle as a YouTuber. And then if you add DoorDash, you'll definitely make more on DoorDash than you do on YouTube. Um, so as long as you somewhat like to drive, as long as you can somewhat function a phone, and I know obviously, Lynn, you can, um, you'd be fine. You'd do great. And it'd be three sources of income. That's a three-legged stool. That's awesome. Paco. ESP is the bear whisper, bear emoji, tree emoji, and outdoor emojis. Yeah. Good job, Paco. Um, Timothy, last week you told us about when you did live with two people watching. Yep. And I want to congratulate you on reaching 20,000 subs. Well, thank you, uh, Timothy, for reminding me that. Yeah, I remember. I still have the first live feed ever I did in a Walmart parking lot in New Jersey. I remember where I was. I had this one viewer from Texas called It's Miss Kimberly, and she had 10,000 followers on Instagram, but she shut it down because she just got self-conscious. And even this year with over 15,000 subs, I still had moments where I wanted to shut my YouTube channel down. And I think that's important that I share that because success and earning money, obviously, there's an incentive, but there's still a resistance of being in the public that you have to really take care of yourself. Um, but it is an amazing thing. Again, to think how hard it was to get over 20 people watching my live feed. And I've been on live now for just about 2 hours. I've had over 100 people watching me right now. 75 people are watching me, 86 thumbs up. And it's just like a breeze. But I think about, I mean, I'd be giving it everything I got, you know, 2 years ago. And again, to get 19, 20 people in, like I hit the jackpot, you know. So all I can do is share that. Hopefully that helps you. Adam, proud of you, Sam. I'm out here for the night. Well, thank you for coming in, Adam. I know you may not still be in here, but thank you, brother. D. Bill Maher talks about Bitcoin and crypto. Yeah, does he? I really don't watch Bill Maher. I have mixed emotions on him. I know he got with a Superhead. Um, but some things I like about him, some things I don't. But I haven't watched his show in a long time. Um, Everyone's talking about crypto now. It's amazing. Everyone's on that. Pluto, thumbs up to you. Thank you again. And thank you again, D. Very gracious of you with the super chat. Thank you, Pluto. Shout out to Tariq. Wendy. I have to listen to upbeat music while I work out. Me too. It's hard for me to sit and listen. That's why I'm glad and grateful that you are starting your lives later. Congrats on 20K. Yeah, thank you. I mean, obviously, at least for these 30 nights, you know, the intensity is down, my tone is down because I have neighbors. I have to, you know, be respectful. Um, I can't scream like I'm in a parking lot, but for some reason, I guess people either like the more mellow tone or going later live or just being in a hotel, something different is drawing more people in than normal. Smith and West, what's up, man? Thank you, brother. $5 super chat. Hey, brother, I applaud your 20K. Thank you. But I'm afraid we're going to have to pardon two ways. Your new hotel living doesn't fit my vibration. That's okay. But I'll still watch your old stuff. There's no worries about that. I don't want to manipulate you. I don't want to, and I also don't want to manipulate myself. Um, I don't want to force myself to live in a car to appeal to you or anyone else. Um, but I also don't want to make you watch something that doesn't help you. So if only my old stuff helps you or only something, then you should do that. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. I appreciate that tip. Uh, but like I say, when I left the strip club, I lost a lot of friends when I got into the church. And a lot of people say, Sam, I can't get with this new Sammy. And then when I left the church, I lost a lot of church friends. They're like, what you doing now? You know, so when I went into my car, I lost my father. I lost some people like, what are you doing that for? And when I leave my car, I know I'll lose some people too. But I'm not scared to lose people in order to find myself or keep myself and be true to myself. And so, but I also respect people that they have to do what they have to do for them. And yeah, I respect that. So, like I say, after 30 nights in a hotel, will I go back to a car? It's certainly possible. I don't know if I'll go back to a car in the middle of the summer unless I have to. Will I buy a home base? It's possible. But I really like, at least for these 30 nights, is even though I'm paying a little bit more than rental, I'm not committed. I can leave tomorrow. Um, but I'm also in temperature control. I'm also taking time to get away from the public a little bit to rebalance my life, even if it's for a short period. And I'm willing to evolve and lose people and stretch myself and make myself spend some money and do some things. So uh, I think it'll be good, even if I go back to a car, even if I don't, because it would be bad if I didn't want to be in a car and I stayed there, because then I would be teaching you bad things. I'd be lying to you, lying to myself. And that's never good. It doesn't work out. It works out in the short term, not the long. So thank you, brother, again. Pat, I'm going to start uploading new barn cat videos frequently. Well, with your sense of humor, you got charisma. D, hey, Timothy. D, are you talking to me? Yes, D says, hey, Timothy, yep. I want my own bathroom. Men are messy. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. I don't want to share a bathroom with a woman either because she too much hair in the sink. But I am a little messier. I will admit that. Timothy, hello, D. Infinity, he says a fuel shortage in Tennessee. Well, we got to call Dave Ramsey because Dave Ramsey don't like electric cars. So you tell him he's got a pickup truck. I think he's got a Raptor. He's sucking like 5 miles per gallon. Love to you, Infinity. Thank you, brother, for everything. And this makes you think too. If you're going to be on the road in an RV, fuel costs can easily go back to $4. Look, I remember in 2007, fuel costs went to about $4 a gallon or five. Even in New Jersey, it was up close to that. So we've been at all time. We went back to like dollar gasoline a year or so ago, $1.50. So that was way low. $2.50, is probably somewhere where the middle ground is. $3, you're getting close to the top end. 350 starts to get too much, and then $4, you go into this algorithm of, then it's an issue. People will definitely start to reevaluate how they travel, but mainly what car they buy if gas prices go above 350 and stay there. And I know in some parts of California they already are, and I know that's why in California they're a lot more receptive to hybrid electric vehicles, etc. Even though they take energy too, but so I don't know. I don't know where. Look, we're definitely outside of the cyber attack. We're definitely in inflationary times. So I think things will reset in the fall. Because again, I think in the fall you have the end of unextended unemployment. I think eventually you're going to get higher interest rates because they're artificially low, and the lower interest rates do the same thing as extra unemployment benefits. They inflate the economy. So eventually interest rates come up. Eventually, as long as the coronavirus goes away or subsidized or stays at dormant, then extra subsidies are going to go away, and then you're going to have some of the inflation come down. So Brandon, 20K. Wow, been following. Have you been following me that long, man? Since 2018. Wow, that's amazing. I started my channel in July of 2017. It'll be 5 years this July, 2 months. D, thank you again, D. You've been very kind to me, and I hope that my words find you in a kind place. I hope my words don't hurt you, but help you. That's I love to you, appreciation. Brandon, thank you also, man. Very much appreciated, Brandon. Thank you. And Smith and Wesson, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. And I understand you have to do you. D, I am going to be a snowbird. 6 at home and 6 in Florida. Okay, so 6 months up north. I forgot what state you're at, and then 6 months in Florida. It makes sense. I recommend 8 months in Florida. Remember to get the homestead. If you're going to own property in Florida, uh, you have to live in Florida 6 months and 1 day. What are the best months to be in Florida? Well, I would say November through May, or at least November through April. Um, uh, the height of tourism season is January, February, March. That's when most people are down here for those 3 months. Some people come down from November to May. Look, this hotel room, 30 nights, is getting me to June. Once June hits, warmer weather will be up north, and then I may migrate slowly. I'm going to evaluate. But right now, it's still too cold up north. It's the 60s are the high. But once you get to June, you're in the 70s and 80s. So now, two, what I read today online was if you stay at a hotel for 30 nights or more, you can technically use that as a level of a residency. There's ins and outs with that, but you need to look into that if that's something. You're in Rhode Island, D, and you enjoy the state. Well, there you go. Yeah, if you enjoy have I been to Rhode Island? I think when I went up to Vermont, I went to a lot of those northern states up there, but I'm not I can't say I fully remember being in Rhode Island, but I may have drove through it. Look, the biggest part of the Northeast I like is the fall, September and October. Now Rhode Island's a very small state, so I'm sure I don't know if it's congested or not. I would think in the summer it's got to be congested, right, Dave? You like sailing? Yeah. Well, look, I've been to the Boston Harbor, and there's a lot. Of course, there's a lot of boats and ships off there, and there's a lot of boats off the Jersey Shore. So, uh, but in Florida, there's boats all year round, other than hurricane season. So that's true. ESP. Gas is $3 here in Anchorage. Wow, that's awesome. Well, I said that's awesome. Well, no, I guess that's average. I don't know why I said that because it's about 288 in New Jersey. I mean, in Florida, and it's about 299. It's $3 in New Jersey, so it makes sense. D was going to go to the West Coast, but the chem spill into the Gulf has increased the red tide, so I might end up on the wavy side. Yeah, that's Atlantic Ocean, East Coast. Um, well, I would say no matter what coast you go to, there's a big boating culture. A lot of boats, because all year round, and a lot of canals. And obviously, Florida is a peninsula. It's surrounded by water on all three sides. Uh, D says, I live in Rhode Island. Oh, yeah, I read that and enjoy state sailing. Yep. D, best beaches on the East Coast. I agree. There's some nice ones on the West Coast, but I would say for me, there's more on the East, and there's more free parking on the East Coast. There's more access to the ocean on the East Coast of Florida. So there's a lot of benefit. But all right, guys, it's getting a little late, and I definitely want to be respectful to the volume and to your time. I've been doing this for about 2 hours. Thank you all for your help, your support, getting to 20,000. I know it's corny, but it's true. Couldn't be here without people who watch, no matter how talented I am. So thank you. And I don't believe I'm extra talented. I may have a gift, but I believe that consistency, uh, uh, honesty, um, correction when you go wrong, steer the ship back. And, that's it. You just do the best you can. Some things work out, some things don't. Um, a lot of things don't work out. So, and everything changes. And like I say, this is a two-part live. It's a level of acknowledgement of a milestone at 20,000 subscribers. It's also an acknowledgement of a changing. I'm in a hotel. I have been for several nights. I'll be for probably 30 nights more. I don't know if it's a permanent change, temporary. Um, but I know that it's at least a good, uh, at least it's a good test or a good step forward, even if it's not a permanent step, to to adjust my life to a certain degree, to bring some balance or at least some reflection. And hopefully that helps you in some way. And if it doesn't, I understand that. But thank you again, everyone. I appreciate you watching. Thank you for all the love.